to dictate the future of Ambazonia, our land of birth. We will continue to do so until we get to Buea. Fellow Ambazonians, it is now several months that we continue to appeal to the world that Ambazonians are being killed like rats on a daily basis, that Ambazonian villages and towns are being burnt on a daily basis, and the world remains silent. Fellow Ambazonians, fellow countrymen, tonight, from your interim government, we want to remind you that it is a revolutionary duty to stand up and fight for modern Ambazonia. We give you special thanks, especially those of you on ground zero and those of you scattered all over the diaspora like seeds. That Ambazonia will never forget you and will never forget your sacrifices. We have confidence that our revolution is on track. We have confidence in your resilience, in your determination to free our land. Ambazonia will eternally remain grateful to you individually for your endless sacrifices and contributions in ideas, in cash, in connections, in intelligence gathering, and for your physical presence at protest marches, on diplomatic corridors to get our story heard and our pain understood. From your interim government, we are confident our struggle is on course. We are confident that we are marching steadily towards Buea. We are confident our people's determination, regardless of the challenges along the way, will never be broken until we have fully taken over our country, seated at the AU and at the UN. Ambazonia must be free, and Ambazonia will be free. We assure you. The sacrifices would never go in vain, God willing. Look in the mirror, I should serve. Am I doing justice to the Ambazonian liberation struggle? My struggle, my life. When it comes to my personal contributions in whichever way so far, if the answer is yes, most certainly, you have a proud place in the history. And if the answer is look into the mirror again. As your interim government, we ask all our people, all Ambazonians, to look into the mirror. Are you a builder or are you a destroyer? Are you a builder or are you a destroyer? The clock of history is ticking, and the archives are getting full. It is important that we always make some deliberate decisions. In every struggle, as Sarah Robinson writes, there are 6 types of people: the masses, the activists, the intellectuals, the artists, the leaders, and the supportive elite. Who are you, and what role are you playing, and will you play going forward? Are you part of the masses? Our revolution is truly the people's revolution, because people power has been demonstrated over and over. Who doubts this? September 22nd, the 1st of October, a mass movement run across the diaspora attests to this. Our mandate as the interim government is to ensure that we continue to inspire our masses to stay focused on our revolution. And we have confidence. We have confidence in our determination. We have confidence in our resilience. And we know, God willing, that our masses will always stay on course until we get to Buea. Our masses have a special role to play in our struggle. And that is why we continue to say that every Ambazonian must be allowed to play their God-given role in this struggle. That is a must. That is why we continue to insist that most of these fights are unfortunate and are not necessary, because the most distracted of all our people are our masses, those that have all the power. Our people everywhere have conquered fear. When fear is beaten, liberation is inevitable. I want to repeat that again. When fear is beaten, liberation is inevitable. Freedom is inevitable. Truly committed individuals can change the world, but they never do it alone. They do it by getting a big enough size of society engaged and ready to fight. So it is our collective responsibility to ensure that everybody in our homes, in our communities, in our churches play their role. We have confidence that at least 95% of our people believe in our new country, our new flag, our new anthem, our leadership, the rare opportunity to determine our own future, and of course, the Ambazonian dream. Fellow compatriots, the second categories of people would be the activists. Who are activists? The activists are organizers, rally makers, protest leaders, the people who know how to turn masses of people out into the streets, keep them there for as long as it takes, and get the rest of the country, the media, businessmen, the man and woman on the street to pay attention to what they are saying. And we must confess from the interim government that the activists have been doing a wonderful job. Then we have the intellectuals, the third class. The intellectuals are those who develop clear, coherent, compelling and clear arguments, game-changing policies and strategies, and make a case for why change must happen. These have the responsibility to craft a new vision for how a truly free, secure, sustainable, democratic, and just Ambazonian society will be. In every successful revolution, the intellectuals are the people who hang on to the map of where we are going and keep us from drifting off course. When the chaos of change, when the distractions from in-house, when the positioning threatens to blow us into dangerous dips, they keep and sell the goalpost all the time. Are you that intellectual the Ambazonian people can believe in? Then we've got the artists. Artists are the ones who transform the intellectuals' ideas and visions into heart-level imperatives brimming with deep personal meaning. They are the ones who can inspire vast numbers of people to make the necessary sacrifices, to feel intense bonds of solidarity, and to understand that the work of the revolution is the most important work of our lives. They and their followers will put their lives on the line for Mother Ambazonia. And they have been doing that on ground zero. They have been doing that in the diaspora, and we say thank you to you all. Then we have the insiders. The insiders are our eagle-eyed scouts and spotters. Without access to the thousand small details they know about how the system works, the people, the rules, the gossip, the way power and money flows, our strategies to undermine it are doomed to failure. There are also the ones most likely to notice subtle change signals coming from inside the power centers or in the greater diaspora, and led us to rare windows of opportunity when they happen, and tell us what we must do, what we need to do to gain the maximum leverage over events. One of which being the kidnapping of our leader Sisiku Ayoktabe and his aides. This group are the ones who have got lobbies on the speed dial, and at the end of the day we will not succeed without inside operators. So let's be wise in our revolution. No revolution ever does it without them. Then we have the supportive elites, the hearts of the people on ground zero, and this category of Ambazonians have been the engine of the revolution. Otherwise, we would not be able to marshal things to where we are today with the hundreds of dollars so far employed in our restoration projects. Revolutions only really take off when they are backed by a group of affected elites, both economic and intellectual, who are willing to bring their connections, influence, organizational skills, money, fame, and other resources to bear. County and country and regional leaders are given the mandate to ensure all in your community in this category are doing justice to the cause, to our revolution. In all societies, there are also a handful of rich people with strong social consciousness, whose theory of wealth follows Paul Weston's rule. Everybody does better when everybody does better. Again, everybody does better when everybody does better. So rich people who do not only look at their riches and their comfort, but the comfort of the whole society. That's the Ambazonian dream. These have a serious role to play. Fellow Ambazonians, our liberation is not a mission that any one of the above groups can ever achieve on its own. It will take all of us. Activists, intellectuals, artists, insiders, elites, and the masses combining a common will and focus to bring that future about. So the sooner we can start honoring the specific and necessary skills and strengths each of us brings to the process, even when they're different from our own, the sooner we as a collective will be on our way to a true Ambazonian dream if we work together. This was the appeal of our acting president, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Ekome. This is the appeal of our leader and head of our nation, His Excellency Sisiko Ayoktabe, made repeatedly, explaining why it took such a long time for him to announce his cabinet. Fellow compatriots, I make the same appeal today. On behalf of our interim government, I appeal to all our leaders that we put the differences aside and focus on the Ambazonian dream. Appeal to all our leaders that we call our followers to order. The social media squabbles are doing a great deal of injustice to our cause. If white and black South Africans could sit at the Codesa talks in the 1990s, irrespective of the sad decades of apartheid rule, Ambazonians can put aside their differences, our differences, in honor of Sam Sawyer, whose throat was slit brutally by French Cameroon military men in Bello. A man with a beautiful wife, 5 children, pregnant wife expecting another child. Let's do it for Kwakwa, where Grandma Paulina was shamefully roasted alive in her sickbed as French Cameroon terrorist forces burned down a whole village, as if to prove a point that if you ever stand up for your rights, this is what will happen to you. Let's do it for Dr. V. Dinka Nyo of PM Ainkwen, who received a stray bullet on her way to work as French Cameroon terrorist forces shot indiscriminately at our people, as they have continuously done over time. Let's do it for the student Kito Benjamin of Lebielem country, as trigger-happy terrorist soldiers released several bullets into his body today, and he died on the spot. Let's do it for the hundreds of our people whose lives have been stolen away from them, their families, their friends, and our country by the brutality of Yaoundé. Let's observe a minute of silence for all our countrymen and women brutally killed by the French Cameroon occupier. Minute of silence, please. May the souls of the departed martyrs of our struggle rest in perfect peace. Fellow compatriots, while we mourn the dead and seek justice for the abducted, the imprisoned, our refugees now numbering more than 600,000 or 60,000 rather, we must maintain the momentum to the logical end, total independence. For our abducted leaders, we have no doubt Ambazonians will end up winners. Let's stay the course. We ask all our people to be strong, remain prayerful and focused. A string of investigations are currently taking place, while several legal teams are doing all in their powers to ensure that justice prevails.